All right, this is the Boats in the Bay project, and this is project, and the objective of this project is to familiarize yourself with the selection tools, primarily these two selection tools right here, the Quick Selection and the Magic Wand tool. I call them the smart selection tools. That's what they're often referred to as, I believe. So anyway, what we're going to do is you're going to use this picture as a background, and you're going to insert boats into this bay and possibly even a plane as well. Okay, so right here you can see that I have the first picture with the boat that I'm going to select and then drag into here. Okay, and each time we drag a boat in, we want to make sure that we rename that layer properly so we're nice and organized with our layer palette, which is very important. So get these two pictures up, and I'm going to zoom in on this boat. Okay, and remember, I can click on my zoom tool and then just click on it, or I can hold and drag down and rope that boat. And now what I want you guys to do is I want you to use this quick selection tool, this one right here. And when you do that, you can see that you have a plus and minus. You can see how the formatting toolbar is changed. Remember, each time you choose a different tool, your formatting toolbar changes. So if I keep on clicking and look up top at the formatting toolbar, you'll see that it changes accordingly to whatever tool that I currently have selected. So going back to the quick selection tool, you can change the brush size if you want it big, if you want it small. I'm going to err on the side of small rather than big. And what this does is that when you click on it, it automatically selects similar colored pixels or similarly grouped pixels. And so it's really easy to select big chunks of your object. So I'm just clicking, and you can see that it'll kind of automatically select. And it's not perfect, but it makes you be able to select big chunks real quickly. Now this looks pretty good, but if I zoom in even more, you can tell that it's lacking. And so I need to go back, and what I'm going to do is, and remember if you mess up, let's say if you went outside the lines, right, you can hit Command D to deselect and try it again. So I'm going to click, 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 and I'm going to just run this over. If I want to, let's say I wanted to get this top part right here, I would zoom in, and what I can do is I can go back to my quick selection tool and make it really small. It's a tedious process, but it's worth it. And you can go back and select it like so. Now if you go out just a little bit, you're like, I messed up right here, I don't want to start all over. You can hold down Alt, and when you hold down Alt, it transitions from a plus sign to a minus sign. So if I hold down Alt on the keyboard and I'm using a Mac, you can just wave over this area that you want to deselect. So I'm just holding down Alt and just kind of going over, right? And then you can let go of Alt if you want to continue to select. Let's say I wanted to get this section right here. I can do that. Maybe even keep on clicking, get the bottom right here, and I can just kind of scroll and like so. And this is getting a little tricky just since it's getting into the water now. I can hold down Alt once again, go back to my quick selection tool, hold down Alt, and just kind of shave it off. That's fine. Okay, so you want to select the boat. If you want, you can zoom in and even select these items as well. You can go back, quick selection tool, make it really small, and just click, 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 click. This is a very, very useful tool that you'll be using a lot in Photoshop. If you want to do the handle, you can click on here. And you're like, well, there's a space right here that I don't want. hold down Alt, click, 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 and do something like that, and you can click on adding this again. So it does take time, depending on how closely you want to select an object. So once you have the boat selected, and I'm just going to click on the zoom tool and go back to fit on screen. Once you have this selected, what we're going to do is we're going to drag it into the next picture. So what I like to do is I just click right up here and take it off. And then now that we have two separate windows, I can kind of see where I want to place it. I'm going to click on my move tool, which is right here, and I'm going to click inside the boat. And you can see it has the marching ants, and I'm going to drag it in here. Well, I don't see anything. Just let go, and then you'll see it. Okay? And you can see that I did a pretty poor job selecting it right here, so I'd probably want to go back and do that again. But just for the sake of time, I'm not. Right here, I'm going to, you're like, well, the scale looks kind of off and it's a little too big. So what you can do is once you've dragged it in, you can hit Command T, and that will free transform and give you these bounding boxes. And if you hold down Shift, you can scale it down. You can even hold down Shift and flip it too, upside down. If you want to turn it around, you can do that. You just got to be careful if there's lettering on it, then it's gonna look backward. It's gonna appear backwards. So just be careful with that. So now I want you to place it somewhere, and where you place it is up to you. Let's say we want it way in the background, right? Like so. When you're done, you can hit Enter. Okay. And then the last thing we want to do is we want to click on this layer right here where it says layer 1. It automatically created a layer when I dragged it in, right? I can turn the eye on and off. We really want to stay organized with our layers palette, so I want you to double click on it and I want you to label it red boat. Okay? And now we have our layer palette red boat. If we ever want to take this off, it would be very easy to hide it or simply delete the layer if need be. Okay, so I want you to continue to do this using these, using your quick selection tool right here, and import and put the other boats in the bay. Let's see, for the I want you to import this boat, which we did, and I want you to do these two boats as well. Okay, and there's another boat that I want you to do. You don't have to do this tower if you don't want to, or if that antenna if you don't want to. You don't have to include the reflection either. And if you have time, do the plane as well. Okay. When you are done and you have them all situated right here, the way I want you to save it is by going to File, Save As, and you need to define where you save it. I'll probably just save it on our desktop and then you can upload it to your Google Drive later. But what I want to point out is the extension PSD. That will preserve all your layers. So by the time you're done with this, you're going to have 5 or 6 layers, 4 to 6 layers, all renamed so that we know what they are. And if you save it as a Photoshop file, next time you open the file, you'll have these layers available to you. If you save it as a JPEG, which is a very common format for uploading images or printing images out at places, it'll compress the layers into one layer, and we don't want to do that right now.